Oh my goodness, look at the little octopus. Hello, hi, how's it going? Wait, let me just... It has been a good few weeks. I'm doing good. February is over. We're now into March. It's spring. The nights are getting longer, although it doesn't really feel like the weather's getting warmer because it is forecast for snow this weekend, and as you can tell, it has already started. I am currently reading Nothing More to Tell by Karen M. McManus. I have several of her books. I think I have 3. I have the first 2 from the One of Us is Lying series, I guess. There was a sequel. Was there another one though? Like I read One of Us is Lying first. I liked it. I thought it was really good. I enjoyed it. And then I did get One of Us is Next, and I do remember it. Like I do, but I don't. I think I do. I remember there was like a subplot with a bomb. Was it terrorism? Like there was a bomb. Am I misremembering? Honestly, I am the worst sometimes. And I did read it and I really liked it. And I have Two Can Keep a Secret, and I have read it. That was like a standalone, and it was about I remember there being a fun fair, somebody died in a hit and run, somebody's friend was sleeping with their dad. Was it like a mixed... I cannot remember. What was it? Honestly, I feel like I could reread it and I probably wouldn't remember the mystery. That's quite strange for me. But since then, there's been Cousins and there's been You'll Be the Death of Me. And this is Nothing More to Tell. So I will read the subplot from the back to you because I'm terrible at doing summaries. 4 years ago, Bryn left St. Ambrose School following the shocking murder of her favourite teacher. The case was never solved, but she's sure that the 3 kids who found Mr. Larkin's body know more than they're telling, especially her ex-best friend, Trip Talbot. He's definitely hiding something. When Bryn gets an internship working on a popular true crime show, she decides to investigate what really happened that day in the woods. But the further she dives into the past, the more secrets she finds. 4 years ago, someone got away with murder. Now it's time to uncover the truth. I'm 84 pages in. I'm pretty gripped. I do really want to know what happened. I am hoping that there is going to be more to it than it being one of the people who were present in the woods that day. It was basically the school teacher's body was found in the woods by the three students. There was Trip, Talbot, and there was the other one. No, I've already forgotten their names. Charlotte was the girl. What was the boy called? Shane. He's called Shane. How could I forget Shane? Anyway, basically Trip and Shane were partners in science, and they all had an assignment. No, that's not. No, that is right. That is right. And they basically were told to go off into the woods, or like just out in nature, and find samples of like leaves. They were looking for samples of leaves, and while they were in the woods looking for the leaves, they discovered his body. There was another person. Charlotte was with them. Charlotte was the lab partner of our main character Bryn, who Bryn did not happen to be out in the woods that day, but Charlotte was there because she really liked Shane. They found the body. Yeah, I am kind of hoping that it's not going to turn out that it was one of the ones who was in the woods, just because I don't know. They were teens, like young. I think they're supposed to be 16 now, and it's like 4 years ago, so they'd have been young teens, and I don't know. I just don't know if I hope it's not gonna be that it was. I'm only 84 pages in, so I don't know what I'm talking about. But there was supposed to be a whole scandal with money had gone missing for like a class field trip that the teacher, Mr. Larkin, was like looking into. It turned out the money was found in Charlotte's locker, and she was there in the woods that day. And then I just feel like there's going to be stuff. I am hoping that, you know, it's going to be a very shocking, surprising mystery. Like I'm optimistic. I am very optimistic. The one thing that is bugging me already is the fact that our main character Bryn, now she was best friends with Trip Talbot, who's one of the guys who was out in the woods. They were best friends growing up. One day he just randomly like shunned her in front of like the whole school. It was like in the gymnasium. Shunned her in front of the whole school, made this whole sort of like, why you always follow me around, do you fancy me type deal, and everyone laughed at her and she was mortified. And then after that, her dad, he's a scientist, and he got a new job, so he transferred and they went somewhere else, like a new school, and so now she's back. I can already tell that the whole reason that this boy Trip was like a dick to her and embarrassed her for the whole school was definitely because he fancied her. He fancied her because he made a comment. We get their split perspectives in this book. We have Bryn's and we've had Trips so far. Don't know if there'll be any more. I'm kind of hoping there's not, because I do like it when books are limited to just one, maybe I will always love a book that's just told from like one perspective, but I don't mind a little bit of back and forth. But I don't like it when it goes around like too much, when it's like a little bit of everyone. One thing I hate about books is when you have like a character's perspective and it's giving you more information than like maybe your main character knows, and I hate knowing more than the main character. I hate it. Like I hate knowing like killers or bad people or any sort of thing before like our main characters or the police know it, because I'm just like, I don't like knowing. I want us all to be on the same page. Anyway, we get chapters from his perspective as well, and he's sort of alluding to like something happening and never wanting to remember that day in the woods and how they don't talk about it. Like he became really good friends with Shane, and obviously Shane and Charlotte eventually started dating, so it becomes a whole thing of like they're good friends now, but they don't talk about that day in the woods. Sus. He alluded to the fact in one of his chapters about how it was about Bryn and how she always looked at him like a brother. Like she looked at him like he was her brother kind of thing, and that was the problem. It was something along the lines. So like I was like, oh, I get it. You liked her a lot and you wanted to be more than friends, but she treated you like a brother. Okay, I see where it all went wrong, why you embarrassed her, but it's no excuse. And I really don't want it to, like, I'm sorry, but if somebody embarrassed me in front of the whole school, like, I would not go back on that. Like, no. Maybe I'd consider being your friend again, but I don't see you as relationship potential. I'm getting ahead of myself because nothing untoward has actually happened yet. Our characters have barely even interacted, but I just know that they are going to solve this mystery together unless he is somewhat responsible. Like, I'm just getting that vibes that because of how the author has written before, and I'm thinking about one of us is lying, and how like the two characters that were involved, or two of the characters that were involved in the whole thing, like ended up like trying to figure what happened together. Like they were trying to solve things and then they ended up dating, and I'm like, Is this how this is gonna go? I kind of hope it doesn't. When it comes to like little, because I think this is class as YA. This will be like YA when it's set in a school, right? Pretty sure. I love YA mysteries, and I still love YA books that are like, you know, teens in school, fun mysteries. I don't really care so much when there's a lot of romance and subplot. Like, I'm just not really here for it. I don't really care. I just don't really care. I'm here for the mystery, you know? I'm here for that plot. I'm getting off into a tangent. Goodness me. But yes, I am reading. I'm currently reading, and I shall update you if it goes bad as I progress to see if there's romance or if I'm surprised or if I'm disappointed. We shall see. So it is currently mid-March. This video is supposed to be starting about February, but it's mid-March. So I did a bit of reading last night. I'm like a good chunk of the way through, and I don't know if I'm gonna cut out the part when I was talking about this book, or I don't know if I'm gonna chop it up, but I talked for like 10 plus minutes about the book and the direction I thought it was going in and my sort of apprehensions. Just the direction I thought it was gonna go based on the way this author has written in the past. And I made some comments about like one of the main characters and like the main character or one of the main characters' trip and the girl Bryn. I'm like, oh, they're gonna end up dating. Like, I can just see it. Like, they're gonna end up dating by the end of the book. Like, I know it's coming because he obviously liked her. And I didn't want that to happen. But honestly, I'm shipping it. I don't know what's happening to me. I'm becoming a bit of like a hopeless romantic in some situations. Like, I hated romance. I hate cliches. I hate all that stuff. But you know what? Slap on a pirate hat and get me on a boat because I ship it. God, like I'm shipping it. Anyway, so I did quite a bit of reading yesterday. I'm really loving it. I'm actually really enjoying it, and I'm interested. I'm really curious about how it's gonna go. Like, I already have a couple of suspicions, but it's too early to tell. But clearly that there's something not quite right about the teacher who was killed. Like, he wasn't as good and as sunshine as our main character Bryn thought he was. I'm really curious. But anyway, so in other news from my life, very exciting. Today I went into work as normal, and my bosses have decided to promote me to supervisor. I work in a bar / restaurant on a holiday park, and I do a lot of work behind the bar. I do a lot of waitressing. I do a lot of reception work as well now in the office. I'm doing a bit of everything, but we had some drama over the weekend when my new manager, he was brand new, like literally just starting. I could have a whole story time about, I don't know, is story times even a thing? Do people still do story times? But like, I could feel like I could do a whole story time on just everything that happened in the space of like 10 days. Like, we were literally only open officially. He's been here from like since mid-Feb, but like we were only officially open again for the season on the 3rd of March. And there was an incident on Saturday, and by the Sunday he was dismissed because, well, anyway, my boss has made the decision. Like, we were all kind of talking about stuff, and they've decided to promote my co-worker to be the manager, which I'm so pleased about because honestly she's great, and she's perfect for it. Like, they approached me as well about whether or not I'd also be interested, and I was a bit like I was like really grateful, and it was such a huge confidence boost that they felt that way about me. I was just a bit worried that I wouldn't really know what it would entail, and I don't know if I want all the responsibilities, and there is a big part of me that would really like to move away from the area that I live, and I already have a 30-minute commute to my work, and it's like that way. And I really want to move away. I really want to move away from home. I want to move out of my parents' house, and I just can't see myself moving that way. I want to move this way. I want to get out. I want to see more stuff. So I was a bit worried of like my long-term plans. Like, I probably wouldn't, I don't really want to be here. It's a shame because I love my job. I love everybody that's there, but I just don't want to be here long term. I am really glad that it's worked out that I'm still getting a promotion. They've decided to promote her, but they're also promoting me. So I'm still getting a promotion. I'm getting a pay rise. I'm getting more responsibilities without being like the sole manager person in charge. So I'm really excited. I am excited. Things are going good. So I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna do some reading because I really wanna crack on. Like I've got so many books that I just haven't been reading and I keep buying more. I did quite a bit of reading last night. I'm still shipping it. I feel like I know, but there could still be some plot twist along the way, but it's kind of like, oh, I feel like I can't really talk about this without giving away spoilers for the book, which I don't really want to do. I like to be spoiler free. I made a connection between the murder victim and one of the characters when I was a kid, and I'm a bit like, it would make sense if you were, I don't know how to talk about it. There's a character who there's a character who's like connected to the, like we make a discovery that there's a character connected to the victim, the murder victim. Is it you? Would make sense. So I feel like I've worked it out if that's the case. I don't know. I also don't know. We shall have to see. I'm in the office today. Eating grapes. Right, okay, I need to talk fast because my phone is literally about to die, but I just finished reading Nothing More to Tell and I predicted a lot of it towards the end. I'm giving myself too much credit. Like, I'm giving myself credit that I'm like, oh yeah, I figured out that it was going to be between one of these three people, when, like, to be honest, there was like no characters left that it could be. It had to be one of them. But it was good. It was actually really good. It did like end up like the final kind of bit like, oh, yes, sort of what I thought was going to happen. But it's still always nice when like it turns out to be just what you thought was going to happen is what happened. I will say though, I mean, I'm probably going to give this book 5 stars because I did really enjoy it. There was just one part which I didn't like. And I don't know how to, I don't want to talk about it because I don't want to spoil this book for people. I might just talk about it right now. So I'm going to do a spoiler warning. Spoiler. I will put a time up of when it's safe to skip to. I'm going to start talking about this without, I mean, I've said spoiler warning, so I might as well just say it. You know how like a book always has that sort of like you're not even at the 3/4 mark. Like it's literally the last couple of chapters. Like there's always that one chapter that's just full of action. It's action packed, and then you have the chapter afterwards which is kind of like, so this happened, that happened, this is what happened next, and then there's a bit of like an epilogue, and then like the book's over. Well, they were at a dance because of course every high school centered novel always has a dance at the end, and our main character, if it's a girl, is always wearing a dress. Like there was a dance and this other character showed up. Now, the whole plot, or the whole subplot with this character who turns out to be the father of the man who was killed. Like, I get it, he was described as like a nasty man, and this is the reason why his ex-wife left him and took off. I just don't feel like it was really sort of necessary. Like it was just like added just to add drama, and it just like I didn't really care. Like, and I just didn't really feel like it was like our main character Bryn wanted to find him, and she did find him, but instead of like asking him questions and being like, are you so and so, like, I'm Bryn, and like just sort of explain the situation. He worked at a pawn shop, she found him, and she wanted to figure out who he was first before, I don't know, she wanted to just know if it was him. She didn't actually talk to him properly. There was just a situation. He saw a keychain, he saw something on her keyring, or her car keys, that indicated that she knew his son, who was the guy who died. That's a long story. And he flipped out, and then he tracked down her license plate, and because of that he found out that his son was dead. Like, he had no clue, and he came up to the town looking for like answers and stuff, and he ended up kidnapping her sister at the dance. And then there was like an incident, and they had a car, like Bryn and Trip and Bryn's uncle Nick were in a car chase with them, and then they crashed into a tree, and then Uncle Nick was unconscious, and then Bryn and Trip like got out of the car, and this guy was the victim's father, was holding a shotgun at them, and then Uncle Nick managed to become conscious enough to crash his car into the victim's father and killed him. And afterwards, I was a bit like, okay, what the fuck? Like, it just felt so... They literally just introduced this character, just add a bit of drama. Like, I thought he was going to become like a murder suspect or something, but no. He just kicked off, and I was just like, you did this for what? Like, it just felt like adding drama in the last, like, just that moment. That moment of action in the last part of your book where it's like, oh my god, this is happening, that's happening, it's all happening at once. Sometimes those scenes in books, I struggle with the pacing of it. Like, it's always so like, we're doing this, we're doing that, like we're getting from A to B and drive and like blah blah blah, and he's pulling a shotgun on us and blah blah blah, this happened, that happened. It's always too much. It's too much. But it felt kind of unnecessary. Like, I think they could have had the dance, they could have had the revelation that we had at the dance. Something happened. I feel like I can take off the spoiler warning now. Something happened at the dance, like that would have been fine, and then there was a few more like kind of plot twists along the way, so you're kind of like, okay, yeah. And then the final ending, which was I'm quite pleased about. That sounds so silly, but I am kind of pleased of what the ending was, because I was like, I figured it out. But yeah, that scene that I was just talking about, that I didn't want to spoil, but I did spoil. Yeah, it felt kind of like, just, I don't know, a bit rushed and just a bit random. It was really random. Like, I just didn't understand why, except for drama. I don't see why it had to like go that way. Like, it just, I don't know. But that's my main criticism, is I was just a bit like, this feels so rushed, random. How did he know that there was a dance going on at the school? Did he just know to be there? But yeah, I finished it, and I will probably give it 5 stars because it was pretty good, and I do like the way. I will say though, I like this author. This is the fourth book I've read by her, because I have read One of Us is Lying and One of Us is Next, and I've read Two Can Keep a Secret. I remember One of Us is Lying, and I vaguely remember One of Us is Next. I don't really remember Two Can Keep a Secret. There was probably a love interest out there. There always is. I will just say though, my only criticisms as well is that it was very similar to One of Us is Lying, where it's like the guy and the girl end up liking each other a lot. But yeah, overall, a good book. I would recommend it. I'm so sleepy now, but I'm so glad I got it read. Yay. I'm so pleased I got a book read. I did it. Yay. Good night.